Hello everyone, welcome to the Cyberland. So this is 6th video on our Windows Server series, and today I'm going to show you how to configure the Wds Server and deploy it and boot a client from network boot. So you know how to create and configure the Active Directory, DNS, DHCP and organization unit, how to add it. So let's do this part, the Wds server. And now I have created two Windows Server machines. One have Active Directory domain services and DNS. Second only have DHCP. And my domain is hogwarts.local. IP address is 192.168.10.12. DHCP server's IP address and ADDS Active Directory domain service and DNS IP address is 192.168.10.10, and my DNS IP in the DHCP server is 192.168.10.10, the IP address of the Active Directory, because DNS is in the Active Directory. You can see this. Okay. Now let's add the Wds server. In the server manager, go to the manage, add roles and features. In here, click next, next. In here down you can see Windows Deployment Service, WDS. Click this, add feature, click next, and again next. I'm going to tick this, restart the destination server automatically if required. Yes, install this. Okay, now our WDS feature is installed. Close this. You can see in left side WDS is added. Click it. Okay, now we have WDS. Go to the tools. In here you can see Windows Deployment Service. In here, click it, and now we have the Windows Deployment Service Manager window. In here you can see Windows Deployment Service, servers, Active Directory, pre-staged devices. Click servers. Okay, now we have DHCP hogwarts.local. Configure the server. Next, and here you can see select the one of these following options: integrated with Active Directory, standard server. Now we are going to do it integrated with Active Directory. So this server is member of an Active Directory domain service, ADDS domain, or domain controller for an ADDS domain. I am going to select this. It is already selected, and I am going to click next. In here, this is the remote installation folder location. The remote installation folder will contain boot images, installed images, exe boot files, and the Windows Deployment Services management tools. Choose a partition that is large enough to hold all of the images that you will have. This partition must be an NTFS partition and should not be in the system partition. In here, enter the path to the remote installation folder. My path is c/remote install. I am going to leave it default and click next. And in here again I am going to click next. This is a warning and I'm not going to care about it right now, and click next. Okay, now we have DHCP server. You have to tick these both and click next. Always I say, read this all the content before you going to click next. I have already done this than one time, so I am going to click this next. in here you can PXC server initial settings. You can use these settings to define which client computer as this server will respond to. So in here select one of the following options. So you can select one. First one is do not respond to the any client computers. So that's not going to work for us. And second one is respond only to the non-client computers. It will, but now what we are going to select is respond to the all client computers, unknown and known. And I'm going to select this, and no need for this. If you want to add it, read it, and you already decided to configure this server, click next. I'm going to click next and copy in files. Now it's done, finish. Now you can see we have installed images, boot images, pending devices, multi-canal transmissions, drivers, and you can see in here DHCP Hogwarts.local. This is the black sign and it must be turned to green. So this feature is not yet started. What we are going to do is right click this, all task, start, and it will start. Okay, successfully started Windows Deployment Service, WDS. Click OK. Now you can see inside the circle there is a green triangle. In here you can see install images, boot images. Now what we have to do is we have to add install images and boot images. So I'm going to add an image. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do this. I'm using VirtualBox machine. My service DHCP, and I'm going to storage in here Windows Server. I'm going to choose this Windows 10 ISO image. Okay. Now in my file manager there is an CD. It's Windows 10. I'm going to open it. In here sources and search install. This is the Install Wmi file, and we have to copy it and we have to find boot image. So boot image is boot Wmi file. So those are the files we want. I'm going to first choose this boot file and copy it to documents. Paste. Okay. Now I'm going to select install file. Okay, this is the install WMI. Previous I show you this. Copy. I'm going to paste it in this documents. Okay, files are copied. So now our files, both boot WMI and install WMI files are done in copying. I'm going to close this window and I'm going to add install WMI file to install image and boot WMI file to boot image. I'm going to add boot image in boot image, browse, and you can see boot WMI. I'm going to add the boot WMI to boot image. Open, next. You can select if you have more than one Windows files, and boot WMI file will add to boot images. So now our boot image is successfully added. I'm going to click finish, and you can see in here Microsoft name, architecture status, online, This is our boot Wmi file, and I'm going to add the install Wmi file, and I'm going to right click in install image and click add install image. Leave it this default. Next, and going to browse the image. This is the install Wmi file. I'm going to select it, open, and click next. And you can see Windows 10 64, Windows 10 Enterprise solution. I'm going to click next, and the install Wmi file will be added. So now both install and boot image files are adding done. I'm going to click finish. So you can see in here, image group 1, Windows Enterprise 10, status online. So this is our install Wmi file. This is boot Wmi file. So now we have add those files. We have create DHCP server, configure the Wds server. Now what we need is, we need a client, and I'm going to start a client. This is my client computer. It don't have any Windows installed yet, and it's going to start operating system as Windows 10, and I reordered the bootloader to network hard disk. It's going to load in network. This is my network, so all my computers are in the same network. I'm going to start the client A, my computer. So this is the computer. I'm going to start it. You can see debug guest edition.iso start. IPXE boot. I'm going to press F12. You can see Windows Boot Manager, server IP 192.168.10.12. That's the IP of the DHCP server. Choose an operating system to start. Use the arrow keys to highlight your choice, then press enter. I only have Windows 10 set up now currently. I'm going to press enter. Loading files. So you can see Windows logo is loading. Now setup is starting, and in here Windows Deployment Service, local, English, keyboard, input method, and I'm going to click next. In here, connected to DHCP Hogwarts.local, enter username in the format domain user or user@domain.com, username, password. So what we have to do now, so what we have to do is, we have to go to the Active Directory machine, and remember that organization unit part. I'm going to add organization unit. Select Active Directory users and computers. In here you can see Hogwarts.local, and I'm right click it. I'm going to new and select organization unit, and I'm going to name it. Okay, what's the name? We have to give our domain is Hogwarts, so I'm going to name organization Gryffindor. Okay, I'm going to untick that, and okay. So we have new organization. I'm going to right click in that organization and select new. In here, select user. Okay, first name Harry, second name Potter. Okay, now our name. Okay, username Harry, click next, and password vc at 1234, vc at 1234, and repeat password never expires, so cannot change password. Click next, finish. So we have added a new user, and I'm going to my client machine. In here I'm going to type, so format is domain/user, so I'm going to type Wds/Harry abc at 1234. That's my password. Okay, so we have the operating system. Click next. You can see the hard disk. I'm going to click next. Windows app will continue automatically once the server initializes. Once the server initializes. Okay. So now our file is getting ready for installation. So now you can see our Windows is installing. Okay, now our Windows is installed. Restart to continue. I'm going to restart now. So you can see this is the Windows installation and configuration window. In here you have to configure the Windows 10 or the Windows you chose, Windows file you choose as Windows file you choose as normal. So this is how we create and configure the Wds server. And I have created a Discord server. If you are interested in, you can connect it. If you have any question, you can answer in there. I will link it below. Thank you for watching.